Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest crypto community in all of the interwebs. I'm your host, Deezy. This is Around the Blockchain. We're here Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you all the favorite crypto topics that you need to hear about, that you want to hear about, and we've dived deep with your favorite personalities. And we got a great show today. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. We're talking about Bitcoin dominance turning downward. We also have the world's largest ETH whales, the largest Ethereum holders in the entire globe. We're tracking their wallets, and we're going to show you what they're doing. They're accumulating some ETH, so sellers beware. And also, I know the XRP army is going to love this. We have some breaking Ripple news. You know, I know you want us to talk about it every single day. We can't do that, okay? We can't. But we'll give you like once every 2-3 weeks, Ripple army. So calm down, put the spears down.
Ripple army? You said Ripple army? They're not going to like that.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. It's the XRP army.
XRP
they just like to drink Ripple while on break, you know. All right, so
I am the supreme leader. Do not disrespect my clan.
All right, speaking of that, let's bring it right to Ben. We have Ben Armstrong today. He says he's the leader of the XRP. What do we have going on here? It looks like some whale action. We also have CryptoWendyO saying hey to all her favorite babes. And we also have Altcoin Daily. Which one is it? I believe I smell an Austin over here. And we have a new guest coming from across the pond, as they like to say. It is CryptoBusy. But guess what? He wasn't too busy for us. He made a little bit of time. He put down the tea and crumpets, and now he's here. And we're very, very grateful. We appreciate it, CryptoBusy. All right, we're going to check out a little market watch real quick. Looks like Bitcoin is stuck in the same little area between 32, 35,000. Looks like it's trying to push at 33,000. It's right below. But the big news is Ethereum. I'm checking CoinGecko right now. It looks like it's at 1995. Up 2,026 cents. Looks like we're pumping up. I'm going to check Coin Market Cap real quick. They also have right around 2,000. So we're trying to push past this level of 2,000. Let's see. I want to bring it to you, Wendy, real quick. I know we're going to talk about the dominance real quick, but just real quick, you actually spoke about the Fibonacci sequence when you were on here a couple days ago, and you said, you know, if we can't hold above this, we are going to drop down. Lo and behold, Wendy was right. So what is it telling you now as far as Ethereum goes?
Let's actually go ahead and check out my Ethereum chart over here. Let's see this. So I actually anticipated a deeper drop. I was anticipating about 1782, where this pink line is, but it looks like we kind of popped up. The issue that I'm seeing here and the issue that I'm having is going to be us getting back above the EMA 200, because generally when you drop back below the EMA 200, it is a bit of a struggle. However, we were able to do so back in this consolidation range between about June 21st to approximately June 27th, but we were able to get back above it, so it's good. Some things I am noticing is we are getting the downward curves of the EMAs, the lower EMAs, and if we get that, if we start to get some of these bear crosses completed with the EMAs, I would be a little bit worrisome. Taking a look at RSI and MACD, we're getting confliction here. That's generally not the best sign. So with Ethereum, I would kind of watch this range anywhere between approximately 1782 and 2160. Can I plug my meetup really quick?
Of course you can.
I have a meetup coming up. It is this Friday in Los Angeles, California. Friday, July 16th, 6 p.m. PST at Angel City Brewery. Blockfolio is covering drinks. We're going to be celebrating Haley's birthday. She is an attorney at Anderson Kill, crypto attorney. Absolutely amazing. So come network, hang out, and talk to us. And thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, not a problem. Come see the angel of crypto herself at Angel's Brewery. So, yeah, make sure you definitely check that out. And like she said, yeah, you have to watch out for the bear cross. You don't want to cross a bear. They don't like it when you use their bed. They don't like it when the poor just, you know what? That's a whole nother topic. As far as the other market watch goes, synthetics also down. It looks like it is still paring back some of those games. And Axie Infinity is still up about 5%. It's up over 100% of the week. So huge week for Axie Infinity of those who got in early. All right, this takes us to our first topic. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance turning downward. What is the Bitcoin dominance? I want to bring it to you, Ben, just so you can kind of explain, like, what is Bitcoin dominance? And I'm not talking about dominance like how you try to dominate me and TJ. No, we're specifically Bitcoin dominance.
Try?
Okay. All right. Hey, come over here right now. No, if you want to just explain to the people what is Bitcoin dominance and what, just a broad term, what does it mean for the markets?
Yeah, so Bitcoin dominance is the overall percentage of the market cap of crypto that Bitcoin exists in. So yeah, I think BJ's got that. He can pop that up. I think there it is. This is a chart from Coinbase. This basically maps the Bitcoin dominance versus other levels of dominance. Bitcoin, obviously for a long time has been, or for basically its entire existence, has been the dominant force in the market. So it's what we measure everything else by. And when this number goes up, the value of altcoins generally goes down. When the Bitcoin dominance level goes down, the altcoin individual prices generally go up. So you can kind of see this at play on CoinMarketCap. If you look at the overall market cap, like right now, for instance, it is $1.34 trillion, and the Bitcoin dominance is at 45.8%. If the market cap were to go up, but that Bitcoin dominance level were to drop or were to stay the same, but the market cap went up, then that means that there's a really big pumper in the altcoin somewhere, and it works like clockwork. You can see how that happens. So it's very important to keep track of that, because that's what signals altcoin season. When that Bitcoin dominance level, starts spiking, that's generally what will lead to altcoins starting to run. People start taking profits and things like that. So that's a quick explanation of Bitcoin dominance. This is why we go over it every day on the morning live stream. It is one of the most important numbers to keep track of in crypto.
Yeah, it's one of the most important ones. In January, we were really, really high Bitcoin dominance. It was 73% in January 2021. It just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. It looks like it hit a low of about the high 30s in May, and then it's been climbing ever since, but it looks like it might be hitting a little resistance. I think we all can agree long-term, 10, 20 years, Bitcoin dominance will go lower and lower and lower. CryptoBusy, I want to ask you, as it goes lower, could you ever see a day where it gets close to, like, say, gold levels, or could we ever see below 10% Bitcoin dominance, you think?
Well, I'm not sure about below 10%, around 10%, but I think certainly, getting into sort of the 20s and the 30s, like we've seen in previous cycles. Seeing where it is right now, I think if we see Bitcoin's price recover and go up back to where its all-time high was, I would venture to suggest that the Bitcoin dominance would, slowly increase, maybe go above 50%. But it's in a weird position at the moment where it is around sort of 45%. And it is oscillating between that, and it's always oscillated between different percentages from time to time. But you just have to watch the space. But it's a very important statistic, in my opinion, because it does give a good indication of where the altcoins are. At CryptoBusy, we're big fans of Bitcoin, but we're also much bigger fans of the altcoins. We see much better returns on investments with the altcoins. So, when the Bitcoin's dominance is lower, we're happier at the end of the day. And also, first of all, as well, thank you for having us on the show. It's our first time here, so
we're glad to have you, CryptoBusy, Tom. Yeah, welcome from across the pond here in Atlanta and California and all over the globe. All the whole BitSquad's happy to have you here. All right, so Altcoin Daily, I want to ask you, since this question is going to be regarding the alt, and the king of the alts, we can all agree, is Ethereum. Sorry, Army. Sorry, Cardano, ADA gang. But
lies.
Is there ever going to, or BJ, just let me know that was a lie. Altcoin Daily, can you ever see a day where Ethereum dominance will surpass Bitcoin dominance? Or is this just a pipe dream for the Ethereum fans?
Interesting. Good question. And first off, great to be back on Around the Blockchain. Shout out to the Altcoin Daily Army, watching, liking right now. And first off, I think it should be noted to even go a little further on what Ben said, and everybody was saying, Bitcoin dominance will, over the long term, keep decreasing just because there's so many more altcoins than there were a year ago, 2 years ago, quality ones and crappy ones. So that trend is sort of, everybody understands that. But Bitcoin dominance and altcoin dominance in smaller time frames, it's important to keep in mind that it's very cyclical, meaning, like, for example, in 2020, DeFi summer, when YAM token was popping off and Bitcoin wasn't really moving, that was no comment on, is Bitcoin still a good project? Is it not? It was just where we were in the cycle, just like when we were going from January to March, and Bitcoin was rallying from 20K to 60K. And Ethereum for a long time stayed under 1,000 for a very long time. There was no comment on Ethereum if it has underlying value, which it does. It was just where we were in the cycle, and Bitcoin and Ethereum and altcoins, it's cyclical. They tend to take turns. Now, could Ethereum one day pass Bitcoin? Yeah, it's possible, especially as the market in the long term, as the market's deciding which consensus, which protocol, what needs a blockchain, how people are storing their value or using the blockchain. We're not gonna know that for a long time, because unlike Bitcoin, which is just store of value and money, Ethereum does have a lot of competition nipping at its heels. So what I would tend to think more is we would see that collective, maybe a handful of protocols working together to form that global supercomputer, and maybe 2 or 3 together, maybe that could pass Bitcoin.
Yeah, and speaking of other protocols, make sure you check out Altcoin Daily's YouTube page. I saw that you just did a video on DeFi, and you mentioned some other projects. You mentioned VeChain, for instance. Let's say the dominance does fall, alts do pop. What do you see as a better play? Would you go with more traditional blue chip stocks, a Chainlink, a VeChain, or would you go the DeFi route like you mentioned earlier?
You're talking about what would I personally invest in right now?
Well, what do you think's better if the dominance does fall? Blue chip or DeFi?
Interesting. Well, we are seeing I think in a lot of ways, Ethereum is sort of propping up this market, meaning because Bitcoin just had this insane rally and now we're consolidating, we're dipping, people are accumulating. Ethereum EIP 1559, that's coming up. And much like we saw the Coinbase IPO sort of be a little, buy the rumor, sell the news, it's very possible we see that in the short term, despite what that means fundamentally for Ethereum in the long term, we might see a little sell-off, after EIP 1559 comes into fruition, just because nothing's really going to happen that week. But what's interesting is the NFT altcoins like Axie Infinity, like Flow Blockchain, in a lot of ways, they are climbing in the dominant sector themselves. So I would tend to, right now, I'm just sort of like, I would tend to go more towards the protocols, like the Cardanos, like the Polkadots, like the underlying things that cryptos are built on, just because I know they're still going to be here in 5 years. In my opinion, it's still up in the air. Will the Compound, will the Aave, will these certain money markets, which one will be here in 5 years?
All right, and speaking of flow, let's go to WendyO, because you're where I like to go with the Fibonacci. So with the Fibonacci sequence, I know you're one of my favorite Fibonacci creators out there. Does the Fibonacci sequence have any merit when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, or is this just more of a technical indicator for pricing specifically?
So Fibonacci is great for spotting support and resistance, and there are key areas for Fibonacci when you're using it. I don't have those in front of me right now because I use Fibonacci a little bit differently than other traders do. So I'm not gonna quote anything. I know.
Yeah, and we might have a resistance band here that we could throw up on the screen real quick.
Yeah, let me see what you got. Well, what I'm seeing right now is you have a trend line which is drawn very, very beautifully and very accurately, and we are starting to get a little bit of a breakout. However, some of the things that I am noticing when it comes to Bitcoin dominance is I actually drew. Let me show this to you guys so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. And I also wanted to comment. I think your dad jokes are getting very close to beating Ben's.
Don't.
I love it.
Yeah, he's going to lose his job real quick.
I write half of his jokes. Okay. I write his jokes, so yeah. I mean, you know, it's like me beating myself.
A joke for me. Get out of my face.
Okay, cringe. So I gotta be like Richard Hart a little bit and start some static on the show. Just kidding. Shout out to Richard Hart. Anyways, I went ahead and drew an adorable little trend line, kind of to match yours, and I drew my fibs. I draw my fibs a little bit differently, but we have made a really nice move up. The gap that we had down in this region back in May did fill, thank goodness. But some interesting things that I am noticing here, we are getting ready to kind of break out of this area and retest the EMA 100, and that would be at approximately 48. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Either we move from here upward or we move downward from here. But I'm becoming more of a breakout trader because I feel a little bit more confident in this particular market to watch for breakouts, watch for sustaining, and then go ahead and enter there. But when we're looking at market cap and the dominance and all of that type of stuff, it is important to pay attention to what is going on. And of course, you can use fibs. Fibs are purely based on math. Math works. The only true thing in life is math. So anybody that tells you differently, that you can't use fibs or you can't, do different things on RSI or under other indicators, if it works for you and if you're making money doing it, keep doing it.
All right, you heard it from Wendy. Tell lies to get what you want. I'm kidding, of course. We're talking about Fibonacci. All right, let's go to our second topic right here. Looks like the world's largest Ethereum whales are accumulating more Ethereum. They don't have enough. Looking at some figures here. So the 10 biggest Ethereum whales have been accumulating more. They're already at 20% of all the Ethereum. Ethereum's market cap as of right now, we're around 230 billion. So if you look at that, it's almost $50 billion worth of ETH is held by these 10 gigantic whales, and there's no sign of them slowing down with the buying. They just keep accumulating and accumulating. So, Ben, we are the Ethereum channel. Are you one of the whales? If not, who?
No.
If not, who?
Well, I know who they are. No, some of them are for sure. But, well, what do we have here? You guys know I got to keep that info secret. But, yeah, I definitely do know some of the people that own those addresses, and it is in safe hands, is what I'll say. A lot of those bigger, the thing is you look at like Chainlink, for instance. I think it came out that 63%. I think this is the number I saw. 63% of the supply is owned by like the top 20 addresses or something like that. It's nuts. But a lot of those are founder coins and stuff like that. And I don't know how exchanges factor into that. Like we looked at Elrond. Elrond got a lot of flack because it seemed very centralized, but a lot of the biggest wallets are actually exchange wallets. But when it comes to Ethereum, just because a lot of whales have a small portion of the coins, it's not good because it's obviously a level of centralization that we don't want, but it also doesn't necessarily mean that there's bad people at the top that are going to want to manipulate the price down. Usually when you see the people that manipulate the price down and crash the market, they're not in that top 10 address list because they know they don't want to have that spotlight. So they get just big enough wallets to where people don't associate them as whales, like the top whales of any project, and things like that.
So when it comes to the question, are these old school Bitcoin whales versus institutions? You're saying it's not the old Bitcoin whales.
Ethereum, you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of these addresses were all created in 2017. Almost all the biggest addresses were created in 2017.
Okay.
So
all
Ethereum
right.
actually has been around since 2015.
Right,
so
right.
It's not,
those who don't know.
It's not Vitalik. It's not Charles. It's none of those guys.
All right. Well, that's vital information coming straight to you, BitSquad. All right. You're only hearing it here on Around the Blockchain.
Question.
Yeah.
My question is, first off, I love the chat. Your guys' comments about different things are actually hilarious. But anyway, so shout out to the chat. But with Ethereum, it's very easy to create new addresses. So couldn't somebody just create new MetaMask address and be one of the top holders?
Yeah, sure.
Good question.
They transfer out, but a lot people really underestimate how many of these large addresses are institutions. They're not just like Joe Blow that bought in early on and has a lot of Ethereum. They're not people from the ICO for the most part. They're people that got in on the institutional level when people weren't thinking people were doing that, and they were back then in 2017.
But
I can
know
actually
some of these guys.
What's that?
I said some of these guys.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, all right. Mum's the word.
I can actually back what Ben is saying because when I used to, I know different people from OTC desks, and a lot of their customers were either Bitcoin or were either Bitcoin miners liquidating some of their holdings to cover, overhead costs. And a lot of them were people from traditional finance that were setting up different entities because they weren't out of a specific state. I'm not going to mention because legally they weren't allowed to do it out of that state, but they knew that crypto was coming and they wanted a piece of the pie. So they've been doing this since 2018. So that actually, it lines up with the information that I know.
All right, BitSquad, don't let go of your piece of the pie. Do not let go. And that's going to, speaking of OTC, the institutions are actually starting to run out of Ethereum. Ethereum's at its lowest level since 2018. So on July 2nd, just less than 2 weeks ago, it was its lowest level in years. And I mean, this is pretty huge news. There's a supply crunch, it's going to be coming. So CryptoBusy, I want to ask you, will we see the price affected by a supply crunch? Like, I mean, is this something that can happen in the next 6 days, or is this something like 6 months, or will it never happen? Can we see a supply crunch coming?
That's an interesting question, DZ. I think on paper, we can say that Ethereum with the supply and demand, and simple supply and demand, would mean that the price would go up. Ben, you touched on something quite interesting there with the the centralization or the potential centralization of cryptocurrencies and some of them. I hope that Ethereum is not too decentralized. I think it is one of the best cryptocurrencies that are out there, and I think with that as well, with the potential supply crunch, we could be seeing it being affected positively. But then, as you mentioned, Altcoin Daily, that with the EIP, that could be something that could affect it as well. It could be one of those buy the rumor, sell the news type of situations. So I think overall, with what we're seeing right now with the price action, I think this is looking relatively good, and I would expect Ethereum's price to increase over the next few months, but not over the next few days. I sort of take a longer term perspective over where Ethereum's price is going.
All right, and altcoin, I want to bring this to you. So speaking of EIP 1559, those who don't know, it's Ethereum slowly moving to a proof of work mechanism proof of stake versus proof of work. And so there's billions locked up right now in the ETH 2.0 staking platform. Looks like it's 6.2 million Ethereum at today's prices. It's roughly about 13 billion. So, it's disappearing ETH. But on the short-term timeline, like, how low can we go? Can we go down low? Will we get 2 hops this time?
2 hops.
That's so stupid. Come on, Daisy.
This guy. Well, let me pose this question. Let me pose this rhetorical question, so nobody has to answer. But why wouldn't these large whales be accumulating ETH and Bitcoin at the same time? And the answer is there is no reason why they wouldn't be. And they say this with Bitcoin. Like, the more you understand Bitcoin directly correlates to how much Bitcoin you own. And I believe the same thing for Ethereum, especially knowing what we've seen in these last 6 months, meaning that whether you got into crypto because you're anti-government, anti-regulation, you want the gains, but also you want to opt out of the system. There's that type of person. And then there's also the type of person that's pro-government. They want handouts. They want all the opposite of the zero regulation guy. Both those types of people like NFTs or are learning about NFTs. And Ethereum, at least now, is the great equalizer in that sense, and also DeFi as well. Both those types of people can get into Compound and Aave and start earning yield. We're seeing that with Aave Pro, a KYC permissioned version of Aave, Compound Pro, or whatever it's called. And we're seeing both sides of the spectrum come into cryptocurrency through NFTs, through DeFi, primarily on ETH.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Bitcoin and Ethereum because there's a lot of there's an inverse relationship with the whale wallets. So Bitcoin, as we all know, the whale wallets are finally starting to accumulate again. But the downside of that news was whale wallets hit, I think, a 13-month low in June. So Bitcoin whale wallets was at a year low last month. However, Ethereum whale wallets just keeps growing and growing and growing. So CryptoBusy, I want to bring it back to you. What do you think is going to be better in the short term on a, say, 3-month level? Do you think Bitcoin or Ethereum is going to have the better returns?
I think in a 3-month period, inevitably there are going to be corrections along the way. So it's not going to be green candles every single day.
I want green candles every day. What's wrong with that? I mean, Richard Hart has a lot of candles. Why can't I have green candles?
We only chase red candles, okay? We are not chasing green candles. That is not very safe. Okay, that is not safe.
That's sound advice.
Red candles only.
That is sound advice right there. I think over a 3-month period, I think Ethereum would perform better than Bitcoin because of just seeing where things are happening. I think that there's a lot more fundamentally good things happening with Ethereum over these next few months, and I think especially as well with other cryptocurrencies that are built on top of the RC20 type of cryptocurrencies, it's looking good over there. I think just overall. I look at the 3-month period and I say, okay, it's looking fairly okay. We could be seeing better recovery compared to what we've seen over the past few months. I tend to take a look at what's happening over the next 6, 12, what's happening in the next 5 years for Ethereum. And in my opinion, it's looking really good. Very bullish on it. But that is, notwithstanding, there will be corrections along the way. There will be dips along the way, and we just have to accept that as part of the world of investing and part of the world in crypto.
Yeah, when it dips, you get in. Ben, just real quick, can you bring up a certain tattoo you might get if Ethereum reaches a certain level? BitSquad hasn't heard about it in a while.
I don't know about a tattoo, but what I do know is I read a chat today in the chat for this video that said, "CryptoBusy, get in my bed." So it was a very aggressive chat in there. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was in there. So
I saw it too, and that's why I was laughing, because I saw it and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
It was very aggressive, Tom.
Well, they're trying to get busy.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if you have a significant other, but somebody's looking for.
I do. So I'm going to have a few words afterwards. But
all right.
Listen, look. Yeah, I think I said if. What did I say? If Ethereum hits what? I can't remember what.
It was 27,000. I haven't forgotten.
If it hits 27,000 this year, I'm going to get an Ethereum tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it hits what? What was
I
it?
like that. I like
27,000 this year. I'm going to get an Ethereum tattoo.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
if Ethereum,
you get a point just for that.
If it hits $10,000, if Ethereum hits $10,000, I will get a rainbow Ethereum tattoo.
All right. Yeah. Points for all the people getting tattoos. Let's do a real quick rapid fire round. I'm going to start with
this is what
Busy.
I want. This is what I want. No. This is what I want. I want to get barbed wire around my bicep, but instead of barbs, I want them to be little Ethereums.
Okay.
How does
Barbed
that
wire
Okay,
tattoo.
Pamela
That's
Anderson.
trendy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
That is
Barbed wire.
so 1990s Pamela Anderson style.
Is hard.
Well, I mean,
90s
I was
style.
into Pam Anderson in the 90s, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, she makes really good home movie. Anyways, look, we're gonna go around in a circle here. We're gonna start with
Family
CryptoBusy.
friendly
Go.
show, easy guys.
I stopped the sentence halfway, but
It's not me, it's Tommy.
It's Tommy. It's Tommy here. All right, we're gonna go CryptoBusy and go counterclockwise. Where do you see ETH hitting this bull run? Just give us a number.
5 figures, $10,000. That's right.
All right, 10. Wendy, what do you say?
Wait, ask me the question again. I'm laughing at the chat. They're like asking.
Oh, chat's just doing chat things. Where do you see ETH possibly hitting as far as a high goes this bull run?
If we sustain in a bull run, probably closer to like $5,000.
I like it. Okay, Ben, what say you?
Oh, God, it's so hard, to be honest with you. Because I really hate coming off my predictions. I really hate it. But as I've told you guys before, I've been told the brakes are getting put on this thing at $100,000 for Bitcoin, which is going to significantly impact the price of Ethereum. And a number, this makes me sick to say, the number that I'm hearing floated around right now for Ethereum when it's going to get the brakes pulled on it is about $7,000. Now,
okay.
I think, just like we talked this morning on the live stream about Bitcoin, like if they put the brakes on at 100K, it can probably slide up to 120 before it actually stops. For Ethereum, I'm looking, maybe $9,000 maybe. If they slam the brakes on that thing at $7,000. So
yeah, when you get the multiples of tens, they like to push it down.
Oh God, if it doesn't hit $10,000 this year, I'm going to be sick.
And Austin of Altcoin Daily, what do you say? What's your high target if the bull run continues?
This 100% depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin makes it to at least 100K this year, then I think it's very possible Ethereum goes anywhere between 5 and 10K. If Bitcoin pops off and goes between 150 and 200K, dare to dream, then obviously Ethereum would be in between the 10K and 20K range. That would be the ultra bull case for me.
Pop off, son, like they say on Bad Girls Club. And don't ask why I watched that show. I was forced to, okay? Look, but that's another... Sorry, Kat, I mentioned you
don't
again.
even have a girlfriend, Daisy. What do you mean you were forced to?
Look, you do not talk about my Korean love pillow in that manner, okay, Ben? You bought it for me. It has your face on it. Anyways, we're going to go to our third topic here. Breaking Ripple news. That is right. God, we're falling off the rails here, people. Let's bring it back. We have some breaking Ripple news. I know the XRP Army. You're in chat. Put XRP Army in the chat if you're here. And I'm going to cut it to you, BJ, real quick. How many likes are we at right now, BJ?
Not enough. But we're around 1,100.
All right, well, not enough. You got to click that button, folks. We got to let people know we're breaking this secret information.
Wait, there is 6,200 people watching now. We should have at least 3,000 likes. Come on, guys.
All right,
Come
you
on.
heard it. 3,000. All right, let's make
Don't
make everybody
riff,
happy
smash
here.
a like.
Do you want
Smash a
Ripple
like,
to
don't riff.
pump? Well, you hit that like button if you wanted to pump. A little background on Ripple. The coin, I mean, it was a processing payment system for, they and then decentralized, the blockchain technology hit. They switched gears. They turned to some would say centralized, some would say decentralized payment system. Looks like the coin was started in 2012, but right now its market cap is the sixth highest in market cap. It's worth 28 billion. Altcoin, I'm gonna bring it to you first. Have you given up hope on XRP, or is this still a project you and your brother are still interested in?
I would say, have we found hope? Because I think Aaron and I have often been very critical of XRP, not in the sense that, the big talk years ago is it a security? Is it not a security? And we used to make videos saying it's unknown. We don't have that clarity yet. And then Aaron and I would be yelled at by the XRP army saying it's not a security. Why are you spreading this FUD? And our point was always, well, we just don't know. But luckily for Ripple, for better or for worse, they are getting that clarity. So for me, I don't own any Ripple. I think a lot of you watched the interview on Altcoin Daily with Ben of BitBoy Crypto. It dropped a few weeks ago. Ben revealed some very interesting XRP data, or just his opinion on where it could be in the next year. For me, what I would need to see for me to get excited about XRP, one, it's cleared by the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's the minimum. And then we start to see large scale banks adopt XRP and not just say nice things about it like they have in the past. And some people may say, well, Austin, then you'd be late. And that's fine. I think in a lot of ways, if you're getting into XRP now, it could make a great trade, but it already has a huge market cap. And I would rather be late to the party because I'm a more conservative investor. So for me, that's what I'm looking for.
And he was mentioning whether or not it's a security. So that's the breaking news. They have a lawsuit. The SEC filed in December of last year saying, no, you are a security. XRP saying, no, we're decentralized. We're like Ethereum. We're not a security. And so they're going back and forth. There's a lot of closed door meetings right now. And what Ripple is trying to do is get the SEC former chair to testify and say, basically get them on the stand and say, what makes this a security while Bitcoin isn't? And obvious reasons, SEC, they don't want their former executives on the stand. It'll be bad publicity for the SEC. And right now, their SEC is filing a motion to stop that from happening, and they're going to have to make a choice within the next couple days. We don't know which way it's going to go, unless maybe some people have some secret inside information. So I'm going to bring it to you, Ben. You're raising your eyebrows over there. Will this provide enough leverage for Ripple? Saying, look, we got you by the short hairs, on the stand or not. Is this enough leverage for Ripple to move forward in a positive manner against the SEC?
Well, I need to do some digging on this. The story just kind of broke here.
Yep.
I got to find out from one of my guys. You guys know I got guys. I'll find out from one of my guys what he thinks about this situation. He'll probably message me right now. You guys know I'm looking at my phone a lot. There may be a reason for that. But what this boils down to is, if you see what was that? That's so dumb. Okay, so if you guys notice, there's an article here from financefeeds.com, and it basically says the SEC versus Ripple hearing on controversial deposition is bad for Ripple. So such a I don't even want to know what she just saw in the chat. What did she see on that? Ben versus eyebrows? Is that what made you laugh? Ben Benny Boy versus Supercuts Apprentices?
Somebody said I'm Batman, and the other person said I like turtles, and I just lost.
I like turtles. Okay, so the thing is, this article the title is so dumb. Basically, all they're saying is that the judge is going to have a telephone conference to respond to Ripple's request to speed up the decision to have the SEC's former SEC guy, William Hinman or Hinman, to testify. Now, if you guys don't know William Hinman, this is the guy, not Hyman, it's Heinemann. Okay,
okay.
I'm just making sure I want to make sure I'm pronouncing the end.
Yeah. We're trying to be respectful of this guy's name, of course.
Yeah, we want to be respectful of the Hyman. And so he said that a few years ago that Ethereum and y'all stop if y'all can only see what they're doing over here. Ethereum and Bitcoin are not securities. He said this. Now, it wasn't in a ruling. It was more in just a general statement that he made. Some people say that his statement alone wasn't enough to actually qualify Bitcoin and Ethereum as not securities, okay? But generally, the whole world has taken those, that were his statements, and said, this means that from now on, Bitcoin and Ethereum will never be considered securities. And basically because they're too decentralized. That's the idea, right? Is that there's not one small group of holders that benefits the most from, you know, whatever may happen in the ecosystem. Whereas with Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson each made $500 million from the sale of the tokens. And we do know that, you know, they admitted that in the bear market, they had to sell off their tokens in order to keep the company profitable. So it is a little bit different, but what they're asking for is they're asking William Hinman to, you know, say his opinion on what he thinks about Ripple. So the idea that the judge, Sarah Netburn, she's just having a conversation with Ripple to respond to their request to speed it up, there's nothing about that that's bearish. There's nothing about that that's bad for Ripple. And yet that's what this article says, that just because she's having a phone conversation with Ripple, this is terrible. We have no idea what this phone conversation is going to be. And we do know that Judge Sarah Netburn has been on Ripple's side throughout this entire thing, so much that many people consider the SEC to be on trial here, not Ripple Labs.
Yeah, so just
true.
to clarify, you know,
Agree.
it's just a phone conversation with Hyman. You know, they're not trying to get him on the stand and bloody him up or anything like that. So CryptoBusy, I'm going to bring it to you. What is it about the Ripple army that makes them believe so hard? You know, I mean, it's almost I don't want to say fanatical, you know, because they might come after me, but it's clearly it's up there with, like, you know, Ada Gang. They're a hive mind of their own. What is it that makes them so bullish compared to other coins?
Well, it's a very active community. I think, well, they own their own destiny, and they can talk about what they want to talk about. I think with this whole Ripple SEC lawsuit, this is huge. This is big. This isn't just they're going to sue each other and see what happens. And this affects everything. This affects Bitcoin and Ethereum. And, you know, if XRP is declared a security, I'm worried that this will affect the rest of the market see how things are going. Personally, I don't think XRP is a security because it is a cryptocurrency, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I think the 10,000 other cryptocurrencies that are on the market as well. And a currency is not a security. This is a new asset class. This was created, Bitcoin was created, 13 years ago? 2009, pretty much. So we're talking how many years ago now? Just a decade and a bit. When you look at precious metals, the stock market, real estate, these have been around for decades, centuries, and if it's precious metals, they've been around for thousands of years. Cryptocurrency is so new. In a way, it is immature. It is a wild west, and so you're going to have a volatility. And so we need to have, in some way, some form of clarity when it comes to regulation. And it doesn't mean, I'm not advocating we need to have regulation for the sake of regulation, but we need to have barriers along the highway, the motorway, whatever you like to call it, to stop the drunk driver, or whatever it may be, or the sharks, or the people that want to take advantage of people out there in the crypto space. So I think this is a massive lawsuit, and I think it is looking in Ripple's favor every single day. And I completely agree with what Ben's been saying on it as well.
All right, Wendy, now that you've somewhat composed yourself, I was trying to bring it to you earlier, but, you know, I was waiting for you to, you know, bring the base level down. Is Ripple too big at this point to fail? You know, it's almost like one of our giant tech industries that we have here. If this lawsuit goes poorly, I mean, are they just too big to fail? Does their fan base just like care too much, or is that project dead in the water and we'll see a penny Ripple one day? Assuming it goes poorly.
First and foremost, shout out to the chat. We are finally at 2,300 likes. Let's get us up to 3,000 likes, guys. Let's get this done. We deserve it.
Pump it up.
Shout out to everybody here. But as far as Ripple and XRP go, I don't think anything is too big to be shut down by authoritative bodies. And the reason why is when we look at different governments, they want control. That is the purpose why they are around. They're here to protect. So if they wanted to, if the SEC, if all these government bodies really wanted to shut down XRP and Ripple, they could. So that's not out of the question. And it doesn't matter how many partnerships they have, which they do have a lot of partnerships, and they do have people saying good things about them, which is great. But at the same time, what happens if the United States government is doing all of this to essentially get control over Ripple, or to kind of take that technology and brand it their own? We don't know what's happening behind closed doors. So really, at the end of the day, it is up to these legal bodies. But one thing I can say, if you guys are part of the XRP army, part of the Ripple family, whatever it is, did you know by law in the United States, if you write a letter to the SEC, they have to read it? That is a law. So if you are for XRP and cryptocurrency or whatever it is, write a letter to the SEC. Say what you need to say. Do your part in this to kind of let them know, hey, let's stop this. I do think Ripple will end up settling with the SEC, but I kind of feel like this might be their ace in the pocket for them if they are able to get that particular person to go ahead and testify and whatnot, or whatever it is they need to do. But again, write to the SEC. Do what you got to do. They have to read it.
All right, XRP Army, rise up.
Look into with the Federal Reserve, with the United States. Look into Fed Now. They're looking into real-time settlement payments, and I think there's a big thing about this is ego. At the end of the day, the United States is very worried about losing its world reserve currency status. It was the pound sterling at some point, when back in the past, and I think things eventually swing east. And I think some people are worried about the United States dollar not being the world reserve currency, or the petrodollar. And it could be potentially, I'm not saying it would be, but it could be something like Bitcoin or Ethereum as potentially being a world reserve currency. So there's ego tied up involved in this case as well. So I completely agree, Wendy, as well, what you said there.
Yeah, good point. You get a pound for that one. Now, Altcoin Daily, I'm going to bring it to you real quick, is because, you got your ear to the ground, with your brother, 4 ears to the ground. I don't know how y'all do both at the same time, but so you know how it compares to some of these other, processing payment systems, XLM and, some other ones, or if Ask the Muskrat, Dogecoin will be a processing payment system, but is the tech of Ripple just too old at this point? Because, they are older coin, and, people look at it the same way they might look at like Litecoin, it's just like the tech has evolved. Ethereum, has entered the fray. There's a whole new system, that's DeFi is doing all types of crazy things, multiple transactions per millisecond. Is Ripple's tech too old, or are they improving behind the scenes?
Interesting. Well, I would say first off that how old Ripple is, and because they're one of the older dogs in this space, in my opinion, with this SEC lawsuit, I think that helps them, because they might be grandfathered in, a slap on the wrist, maybe to the founders, or pay a fine and go on your way, maybe like we saw it with EOS, as opposed to if they tried to launch XRP today. I think it would be very hard, and they would be shut down very, very much more quickly, because now it's just a different time. As in terms of the speed, people like the revolution with Bitcoin was not transactions. It was censorship resistant, not fast transactions. It was censorship resistant, decentralized. So speed, especially in cryptocurrencies, especially with newer cryptocurrencies, is very common, because that wasn't the revolution.
And he's not talking about staying up, leverage trading, taking speed. He's talking about moving quickly here.
Well, I mean, to each his own, whatever helps you get that trade. No. You're right. Obvious joke. We love to joke around and around the blockchain.
Yes.
Really. But I would say that, but having said that, I forget where I was going with that, but I guess speed is a factor. Speed is Ripple is XRP is much faster than the legacy system like Swift. Speed is a lot more common today in 2021. I don't think slightly faster is going to put any other cryptocurrency that's trying to work with the banks at an advantage, because Ripple XRP is much faster than the legacy system now. And the legacy systems are looking for something. They're looking for they're looking for enough censorship resistance that they can still, control some of the nodes or have access to know who holds a lot of these coins, but ultra fast isn't as important to sort of the whole package.
That is actually a great point. It just has to be faster than the old system. So yeah, not hard. And we're going to end it here, but I have one lightning round question. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for a price target. Well, so Ripple's previous all-time high was around $3. Is a little above $3. If this lawsuit goes well, I'm going to ask everybody, yes or no, do we get a new Ripple all-time high? Let's start with you, Austin. What do you say? Do we get a new all-time high?
If they're cleared, absolutely, because then there's nothing holding XRP back.
All right, Ben, what do you say? I think I know the answer.
A simple yes will do.
All right, simple yes. And Wendy, what do you say?
Well,
It's a 5x.
sure. Let's say yes.
All right,
let's
we get
appease
a
the people.
we get a reluctant yes. And CryptoBusy, what about you?
It's going to surprise a lot of people. So yes.
All right, all right. Well, you heard it here, Ripple gang. No, don't call them that as they're the Ripple Army. Don't call them that. They're the XRP Army. Get it right, easy. All right, and that's all we got time for today. Looks like CryptoBusy, you are our winner today. And those who don't know, at the end of the show, the winner gets a little talking point for about 30 seconds. So CryptoBusy, tell the people what they need to hear.
Well, thank you very much for having us on. Be sure to subscribe to the CryptoBusy channel today. And on top of that as well, we create content that we wish we had access to when we started out in crypto. So it's a fun community to be a part of. And yeah, be linked down in the description below. You can check out our channel and see everything that we're doing.
All right, and that's all we got time for you today, BitSquad. Thank you for watching. DZ out.